Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 13. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra namuhyati. Just as the embodied soul gradually passes within this gross physical body from boyhood to youth and to old age, similarly the soul receives another body at death. An intelligent person is not bewildered by the destruction and rebirth of the body. So here Shri Krishna is explaining the transmigration of the soul from one body to another body by giving a very powerful example from the current life of the human beings. As we can understand things that we experience and see in our current life, he is using the example of how a person experiences his body, gross physical body, go through various transformations right from the birth, and then becomes boy, becomes a young man, and then old. As he passes through all these stages, he does not feel that the person has changed, right? All of us go through these various physical changes, but do you think that you as the person, you as that individual has changed from 10 years ago? You may have changed in terms of your behavior, you may have become more tolerant or more angry, but still that you identify with, you don't feel that has changed. That sense of identity is coming from the spirit soul, and that's what Krishna is distinguishing here between Dehinaha and Dehe. Deha means the bodied, and Dehina means one who has accepted this Deha or this body. So it refers to the spirit soul. So through the transformation of our physical body, even in this life, we feel that we as that individual have not changed, and that feeling is because of the spirit soul. That feeling of continuity is because of the soul, because the body is changing. If that feeling of you being the same person was because of the body, then you will start feeling that you are a different individual. If you compare your picture when you are an old man to your picture when you were a young boy or a baby, you may not be able to recognize that, or a third person may not be able to recognize that you are the same person. But you still feel that you are the same person, and therefore, if that feeling of identity was because of the material body, then that feeling would have changed. But the very fact that it does not change means it's because of not the body, but something that is anti-body, something that is not changing as the body is changing, and that is the spirit soul. Krishna is saying that that soul, just as it passes through different stages in this body, and you do not lament for that, right? When someone becomes 2 years old, we celebrate the birthday. When someone becomes 10-year-old or 16-year-old or 50 years old, we celebrate all these milestones. You don't lament when a person grows up. So Krishna is saying, then why would you lament when that soul goes from this body to another body? It is like you going from one room into another room, from one building to another building, and that is not the cause of lamentation. So as our body transforms, according to medical science also, all the cells in our body change every 7 years. But even though each and every cell of our body changes, the embodied soul does not undergo any change. It remains ever the same. Therefore, it is not proper to lament for the loss of the body. See, this fundamental science is not taught to us in our schools or universities. It is so important for us to understand this principle of life, the principle of continuity of life. But our educational system deprives us of this very essential knowledge. Once Srila Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada went to Harvard University, and the dean there was giving him a tour of the university, of the various departments, the Department of Biology, the Department of Chemistry, Physics, and so on. So Srila Prabhupada asked them one question, that you have so many different departments to impart various kinds of knowledge, but do you have a department that teaches what is the difference between a living person and a dead person? Do you have a department that teaches what is soul? What is the nature of the soul? And what happens to a person when one dies? Those professors were speechless. Bhagavad Gita is that university, is that department which teaches us this most important truth of life. It is teaching us that change of body is just another phase in the journey of the soul. Just like there is a morning, then afternoon, then evening, then there is night time, and after the night time, again the morning starts. Again there is afternoon, evening, and night. Similarly, and every time after the night when the morning comes, we don't become depressed about it. We get up with surcharged energy, ready to do different things that day. Similarly, when the night of this life comes, that does not mean that that is end of the life, because there is going to be another morning of life when the soul in the new body will engage in different activities again. Now, of course, what type of body one gets and what enjoyment or suffering one gets is based on one's karma or activities that Krishna will explain later on. But in this case, Krishna is saying that, oh Arjun, that you don't even have to worry if Bhim and Dronacharya will suffer after this body. So if you believe in transmigration of soul, if you believe in karma, then you should know that they will certainly attain heavenly planets or attain the spiritual abode, because they certainly have not done anything sinful in their life. So especially for such exalted personalities, why should you lament when they are going to be going to a better place, right? If someone goes away from a village where there is suffering and poverty and goes to a big city where one can have a much better life, that is not the cause of lamentation. So leaving this earth which is the place of suffering, these exalted personalities will go to higher planets or to the spiritual abode. So why should you lament for that? Srila Gurudev explains this point further in his commentary by giving the example of Maharaj Yayati, that how in his youth he became old, and then again how he gained his youth, and then again how he became old. The story of Maharaj Yayati is explained in great detail in the 18th chapter of the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the summary of this chapter, giving the story of Maharaj Yayati, Srila Swami Prabhupada Ji explains that King Yayati was the son of Nahush. And among Yayati's 5 sons, the youngest son Puru accepted Yayati's old age. When Maharaj Nahush, who had 6 sons, was cursed to become a python, his eldest son Yati took sannyas, and therefore the next son Yayati was enthroned as king. By providence, Yayati married the daughter of Shukracharya. Shukracharya was the guru of the demons. He was a Brahman, and Yayati was a Kshatriya, means of the warrior class. But he married the daughter of Shukracharya nonetheless. Shukracharya's daughter was named Devayani, and she had a girlfriend named Sarmishtha, who was the daughter of King Vrishparva. Vrishparva was the king of the demons. So King Vrishparva's daughter Sarmishtha was once sporting in the water with thousands of her girlfriends, and Devayani, who was the daughter of Guru Shukracharya, was also there. When the young girls saw Lord Shiva seated on his bull with his wife Uma, they immediately dressed themselves, but Sharmishtha mistakenly put on Devayani's clothes. Now Devayani, being very angry, rebuked Sharmishtha that why you have worn my clothes, and became very angry. Now Sharmishtha also became very angry and responded by rebuking Devayani, and she actually threw her into the well. It so happened that King Yayati was passing by that area, became very thirsty, and came to the same well to drink water. He found Devayani and rescued her. Since he had held the hand of Devayani, she implored him to accept her as his queen. Then Devayani, crying loudly, told her father about Sharmishtha's behavior. When her father Guru Shukracharya heard this, he became very angry and wanted to chastise King Vrishparva, who was Sharmishtha's father. Now Vrishparva was scared that if Shukracharya becomes angry, he would curse him. And therefore he went to Devayani along with Sharmishtha and begged for her forgiveness and asked her what could they do for her. Devayani demanded that Sharmishtha should become her maid servant. So she became her maid servant and also went to the house of Maharaj Yayati, who was now Devayani's husband. When one time Sharmishtha found that her friend Devayani had now begotten a son, she also desired to have a son. She was living like a maid servant, and Devayani would many times mistreat her. But at one point Devayani asked Maharaj Yayati to also build a palace for Sharmishtha. So once Sharmishtha approached Maharaj Yayati and told him what the actual story was behind her becoming the maid servant, and that actually she was also a princess. Then she requested Maharaj Yayati to also accept her as his wife. Maharaj Yayati became very compassionate and did so. Now Sharmishtha also became pregnant and had sons from Maharaj Yayati. But when Devyani came to know this, she became very angry and approached Shukracharya, who then cursed Maharaj Yayati to become old. Now Maharaj Yayati started lamenting that how would I enjoy my life? And then he requested Shukracharya for leniency, who out of compassion for him said that I cannot take my curse back, but if one of your sons would exchange his youth with your old age, then you can become young again. His eldest son Yadu refused because he wanted to worship the Lord, but his youngest son Puru gave his youth and accepted the old age of his father. In this way, Yayati again became young and enjoyed with his queens Devyani, Sharmishtha and others. In the company of his sons and grandsons, he considered himself very happy. However, finally he understood that all these pleasures were temporary and the cause of unlimited misery. He finally returned his son's youth to him and went to the forest to perform intense austerities and worship the Lord. So therefore, even after getting such a youthful body, he did not become happy. So Shri Gurudev explains, therefore at the loss of an old, weak and withered body, it is appropriate to feel happy, knowing that a healthy, strong and beautiful new body will soon be obtained. Therefore, changing of body at the time of death is not a cause and should not be the cause of lamentation. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Have a very blessed day.